Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
So again, Methlo, I think you make some good arguments in terms of the technology we're going to see in the movie, but you still don't explain why they would do it. Is my point. Nemesis Prime, MechaGodzilla. MechaG can work in the monsterverse because he can potentially be a response of humankind to nature. Okay, this is kind of written a little twisted, but I'll do the best I can. MechaG can work in the monsterverse because he can potentially be a response of represented by the humankind to nature, and an upgrade and more powerful version of nature's alpha species, Godzilla. This will motherfucking don't. Oh no, okay, that's the same one. Thank you. I'm over here like I'm reading this and I see things going on this side, so I wasn't sure. I didn't want to miss anybody. Okay, Man vs. Nature and how humans try to fight the Titans, but this time there is a potential danger of humankind to actually succeed, and with it bring chaos and destroy the natural balance. Motherfucking don't know. Jacob Hopper, once again, one character from Kong is confirmed to be in it. We all know this, Jacob. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. Motherfucking don't know. Angry Sandshrew. If you think about it, Mogura is more plausible since he's made of two vehicles. It doesn't have to turn into a robot, just a tank jet hybrid of sorts. Yeah, I mean, I just think that, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. I've already made my point, but let's keep going. So this is continued from Nemesis Prime. An upgrade and more powerful version of nature's alpha species Godzilla. This will go with a theme in the monsterverse that is man versus nature and how humans try to fight the Titans, but this time there is a potential danger of humankind to actually succeed with the technology, bring chaos and destroy the natural balance of the natural world. This because now humans will have to face the threats in form of Titans, not only from prehistoric beasts, but also from a new kind of gigafauna. Mutant abominations born from human desires of rule and control nature. Of course, Goji will be back eventually, but that's another story. He has his reason why they built him. About why they built him, well, there will always be people that will see Goji and the Titans as threats to humankind. I mean, Godzilla is kind of a good guy, but as I see the trailer for Godzilla King of the Monsters, Goji looks mad at us, and he probably will eventually see humans as a threat to nature, especially if we are the responsibility of awakening King Ghidorah or containing our world, maybe even creating mutant gigafauna in the form of a new king of... Alright, I'm getting lost on this one. By those two reasons, Godzilla starting to look at humans as a threat to Earth's balance or human in their infinity. Okay, alright, I'm done with this one. Okay, so your reason for them is basically a countermeasure. Not good enough. I'm just going to say that. Not good enough reason. There's so many different countermeasures that they could come up with. I don't think just building MechaGodzilla for a countermeasure is a good enough reason that it would work. That's my opinion, though. Yeah, sorry, man. I couldn't finish reading that. It was brutal to read. Sorry. Connor Miller. In my opinion, I feel that MechaGodzilla could work in a certain sense. What I mean by that is the legendary Godzilla is considered the good monster or Titan. Since when? When was he ever considered good? I mean, even Mike Doherty said in the interview that because it was the IGN interview, the host for the IGN interview had referred to Godzilla being good, and Mike Doherty did not necessarily agree with that comment. He said there might be some backlash on that or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. Motherfucking don't know. Brian Crockett with $2. Godzilla disappears and Nebus tried to replace him. Nebus? Thanks for the donation, Brian. Not to mention, if you're a good guy, you don't leave people dead in the wake of your presence, which this Godzilla has done numerous times already in the first movie alone. So right off the bat, that is not true. I just want to point that out. It's very important because you're basically using that as your opening statement, like your opening premise. So right away, your opening premise starts with something that's not fact. All right. MechaGodzilla is usually used to counter-attack Godzilla, so there's no need for it if Godzilla is fighting on our side. But he's not necessarily fighting on our side. And this Godzilla has zero interest in humans. He's just a predator. He's fighting for, at least up until this point in this trailer, he's fighting. Obviously we'll see the movie, we'll see if that changes, if he's more directly good. But based on Mike Doherty's comment, it looks like there's more of a chance of him kind of even regressing a little bit in terms of maybe not necessarily even being indifferent. Maybe he reacts to humans now in a negative way. Motherfucking dono! Preston Carlson with the $5 donation. Thanks for everything you do. How many more movies do you think we'll make? And do you think that will depend on how good I think how good the two movies do in the box office will determine how far they go with the stories. Okay. However, I have a way it could possibly work. Towards the end of the King of the Monsters, Godzilla has to either have been extremely wounded or killed. He will fade into the ocean or lie there on the ground. The next Godzilla movie without Kong is where MechaGodzilla can be introduced. Monarch studies his body to make their version to protect them from other Titans. Hold on a minute. He will fade into the ocean or lie there on the ground. The next Godzilla movie without Kong is where MechaGodzilla can be introduced. So in other words, you're pushing back the Kong versus... Okay, I get what you're doing here. Monarch studies his body to make their version to protect them from other Titans, since other Titans have now awoken and are frequently attacking. Later in the movie, Godzilla will awake due to all these other monsters running rampant. Just as he in his first and second movies, MechaGodzilla then comes face to face with an OG and targets him as a threat to humanity, and now the battle between the two can ensue. So you're saying they build MechaGodzilla to replace what they think is a dead Godzilla, and then the dead Godzilla turns out to still be alive, and he makes his presence known, and that's why they fight. So Godzilla dies. We need a countermeasure to the Titans. So why do we choose to build a MechaGodzilla? I guess is my question. Like why wouldn't we just build another weapon? Or why aren't we building more advanced weaponry? Or why aren't we building... there just has to be a better reason for picking a MechaGodzilla other than just for the sake of doing it. Like is there any technicality that you would think of that could work? Again, think of this, when you guys do this, think of this as if you're pitching it to an audience and you're pitching it to a studio as to why a giant robot Godzilla is going to work. So, I mean, I see what you're saying here. Like, it sounds like a cool story. It's just, again, the reason for building him is still not sound enough. There needs to be more behind it. There needs to be more substance behind why we're building a MechaGodzilla. Because you're pitching this to an audience that is going to laugh at that. They're going to laugh at it. If you weren't here before, my wife is a perfect example of the kind of audience you're dealing with. All right, this one is kind of... Okay, this one's from Tyrant Raptor. I feel you can make a believable and faithful rendition of MechaGodzilla. I know that some of the origins of MechaGodzilla can't work for the Western audiences, like the evil MechaGodzilla from outer space, which is sad because the 70s version is my favorite too. But some things can be salvaged. Here are my reasons. Keep him man-made. No. Him made by aliens for the outer space will not make any sense in the new monsterverse. So leave that in the Showa era and with King Ghidorah. But we still need a good reason as to why humanity even wants to build a MechaGodzilla. Like the original, he is evil. So he's built by man and he's evil. So men are the enemy again. The monsterverse has established the Big G as a hero. They have not established that. Well, so keep MechaGodzilla a villain. How? If not by aliens, then by terrorists, which has been established in the series. Where do they get that kind of money, donations? That's a question you have to answer in your story. Motherfucking don't know. Preston Carlson, Godzilla vs. Biollante, any way possible. We're going to get to that shortly, after we finish the MechaGodzilla section. So, and I'm going to actually speed things up, because this is taking a while. Because we still have Destroyer. There's some Destroyer entries as well. Has a reptilian yet humanoid design. A reptilian but humanoid design. So like a giant lizard man is your MechaGodzilla. Whew. The need for famous kaijus. Without a doubt, MechaGodzilla is one of Godzilla's most popular opponents. Absolutely. And I can't think of any other kaiju other than the ones that we are getting in this film that can have the general public familiar with. I don't think it's a matter of the general public being familiar. The three monsters you're getting in this movie are the ones that the general public is familiar with. That's why they were chosen. Market research, guys. It's always done. Make him imposing. Yeah, definitely got to make any kind of opponent for Godzilla imposing, so I agree with that. And finally, how it would introduce MechaGodzilla into the series, the terrorist or radical branch of the organization called the Simians. From Godzilla King of the Monsters felt as if Godzilla failed them in destroying and cleansing the world. Wait a minute. But didn't you just say Godzilla was a hero? I feel you can make a faithful mention of MechaGodzilla. I know that some of the origins of MechaGodzilla won't work in the audience, like MechaGodzilla Out of Space, which is sad because the 70s. Keep him made out of space since some new monsterverse, so leave. Could have sworn he said that. Yeah, right here. The monsterverse has established Big G as a hero, so keep MechaGodzilla a villain. But down here, you're kind of saying that as if Godzilla failed them in destroying and cleansing the world. So he's a hero on one end. Okay, so that's a little confusing. Because you labeled him a hero up top, but down here, you make it sound like he was supposed to destroy the world for these aliens. And now they're mad at him, so plan B was to build a mecha version of Godzilla to strike fear into the hearts of people. Godzilla didn't show up, so now Ghidorah is gone and all the Titans are hiding. The terrorists have decided to take matters into their own hands, much to the dismay of Godzilla. And that's it. I hope we get him in the new trilogy. And okay. So, figment of your imagination. Here's how MechaGodzilla could work. An organization against Godzilla enlists the work of thousands of men to build a secret project. This organization is anti-Godzilla due to the repercussions from every city and town he's been in. The lead member had lost their entire family during the mass flooding of Hawaii. After MechaGodzilla is made, it has a holographic cover to make the public believe that it's Godzilla. The reason they use MechaGodzilla's shape is that the holographic cover needs to maintain the same size and shape as what is being portrayed, as in order to be an effective. Basically, this organization that has anti-Godzilla controls this MechaGodzilla in disguise to ruin Godzilla's public perception. But it's not like Godzilla's running for office. As being seen as a hero. Again, nobody in this universe sees Godzilla as a hero. Michael Dougherty even said it's a big debate in the second movie as to whether or not he's even anything remotely close. I know a lot of people make this assumption because that's the direction he's been pointed in, but it's still a very gray area. Heroes do not kill. Heroes are not indifferent. They're not. Heroes are very involved in saving lives and doing the right thing. Not once has this Godzilla shown any remorse for anything he's done. And he shouldn't. He's a big animal. So anyway, anti-Godzilla controls this MechaGodzilla and disguises ruin Godzilla's public perception. We read all that. Then MechaGodzilla is revealed to the public, undisguised, to be used as a counter as a counter to Godzilla. The public won't know that it was MechaGodzilla attacking the civilians. Eventually, Godzilla and MechaGodzilla would fight. Then you probably could guess the rest of it from there. Absolutely, because that's what they more or less did in Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla 74. This organization is anti-Godzilla due to the repercussions from every city, home, and town that he's been in. So, and that's a good start. But the problem is that story is kind of already being established now in the sequel. So now you need a new story, or at least you need something a little bit different. The reason they use MechaGodzilla's shape is that the holographic cover needs to maintain the same size and shape as to what is being portrayed. Yeah, I'm not buying that one. All right, so we're done with MechaGodzilla. Yeah, I actually like Brian's nanometal idea. I think that's the best one. You think this last one was the best one, Jacob? With the hologram? How would you prevent the hologram from taking any missiles and not showing what's behind it? Like, that's the first question I have. A hologram is not solid. Like, if you build a robot Godzilla and you use a hologram or hologram technology to show that it looks like the real Godzilla, and then you start attacking cities, the first minute somebody launches a missile at you, you can say goodbye to the hologram. It was shite. I think the nanometal one is probably the best. So Brian Crockett, who thought of that right here in chat, probably has the best case for a MechaGodzilla with the nanometals coming to Earth. It's not being influenced by aliens. It's not being influenced by humanity. It just is. And I think that's probably the best approach to take.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Or you can click here to become an E.T.N. patron. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.